Welcome to yet another patch note. This is version 4.14, Ursa Major. If all goes well, this patch will go live on PC on Tuesday, August 1st, and the following week on console, which is the 8th. We have a few item and god changes this time around. Definitely much smaller than last patch notes, which was a very long list of things, just everything piled up. We also have the start of the fall split and Artio, the new Celtic Guardian. She's the first stand switcher in 3 years, so her segment might go a bit long. So bear with me. Get it? Bear because Artio can turn into a bear? No? Oh, I fucking hate myself. Anyway, I'm gonna start you off with skins, and there's quite a bunch this time. My favorite god on the battlefield, Cupid, is getting some major love this patch, if you don't count his head over heels skin from last patch. The fall split is here, and with it, a new bundle. Cupid's Dr. Matlove skin will be available in the fall split bundle for 400 gems. His cute little voice jumped into a time machine and into a matte little bugger. Remind you of someone? I'll let you think about that one. Personally, I'm loving the beakers on his W and the Telsa coils on his ultimate. Just look at it. Everyone's favorite adult baby also received an update to his mastery skins. He's no longer completely covered in gold and diamond, and his eyes also change color depending on the mastery skin you're using. So navy for his gold, I guess charcoal for his legendary, and some kind of blue for his diamond. But really, Cupid doesn't have much skin and clothing to work with anyways, as he's a freaking tiny baby, so that's a nice touch. Oh, and I hear a certain archer and monkey are getting this treatment soon. You heard nothing. Speaking of babies, Naja got the Taunt treatment in his critical damage skin, which changes colors similar to Xbalanque's Jag Dart Rar skin. It will be available as a season ticket reward at level 25, so that's a whopping 25,000 fantasy points. Oh, and his card art changes colors too, so that's pretty cool. Those double fantasy point weekends suddenly seem appetizing, huh? Don't worry, they have those every other weekend. Most of you voted and made Awilix your next community skin beneficiary. Both her and Suku received a great deal of detail to their Midnight Dove skin. Similar to Renegade, Suku also speaks from time to time with a deep, godlike voice. This skin will cost 600 gems, although a discount might be in place, mirroring Fallen Lord Chrono's release. There's more summer Smite skins underway. SPF 666, the Morrigan, and Freaky Tiki Apwash are your next beach treasures. The Morrigan carries out her attacks with a watery effect, and although her voice pack sounds similar to her default, the voice lines are definitely worth a listen. Apwash takes a human approach in this skin. His minions are traded in for smoked boars on a platter, and small tiki heads on his ultimate. Both skins will cost 400 gems each and earn you one sand dollar towards the bonus rewards. Our final skins are tier 2. Crystalline Tera and Tera Cu Chulainn use their default voice pack and ability effects. Both of their outfits have slight changes and additions, like the gems covering Tera and Cuckoo's stash in his human and berserk mode. Cuckoo joins a legacy of men with great fur above their lips. The skins will be available for direct purchase for 250 gems. Smite has a new guardian in the battlefield. She is Celtic and her name is Artio. She has a total of 8 abilities, including her passive. She serves as a guardian but plays well as a jungler in my experience, so let's go over her abilities. Artio's passive is Decompose. Enemy gods hit by Artio's druid or bear abilities will begin to decompose. This effect decreases their physical and magical protections, which stacks up to 8 times. Each stack's duration is 4 seconds, and each stack carries a 3% magical and physical protection decrease. Artio's first ability is Energy Surge. Artio pulses out energy that damages enemies and heals herself and allies for each enemy got hit. So this doesn't exactly make her a healer, like say in Assault. She heals the same way that Hades heals his allies, which is damaging an enemy to get that returned. For her bear form, Artio slashes twice with her claws, damaging enemies with each swipe. Artio's second ability is Entangling Vines. Artio creates a thicket of vines around herself that cripples enemy gods and decreases their magical or physical power as long as they are in the area. Ferocious Roar is Artio's second bear ability. Artio lets out a ferocious roar that stuns all nearby enemies and increases her own magical and physical protections for 4 seconds. The stun duration for this ability is 1.4 seconds when maxed out, and the max protections is 50. Artio's third ability is Life Tap. Artio channels for 2 seconds, damaging enemies up to 5 times and healing herself up to 5 times. Each hit increasingly slows enemies, and enemies hit all 5 times are rooted for 1 second. This ability only heals Artio and not allies. Heavy Charge is Artio's third bear ability. Artio charges forward at an increased speed for 3 seconds. Enemies she charges through take damage and are slowed for 2 seconds. Artio's ultimate is Shapeshift. As an active, Artio shapeshifts between her druid stance and her bear stance at no cost. This ability also comes with the passive. Every time Artio hits an enemy with her abilities, she increases her movement speed and MP5 by 5 per stack. This stacks up to 8 times and stacks last 4 seconds. Keep in mind that although this ability is available at level 1, you will not reap the benefits of the passive until you level it up. The 2017 Fall Split Pass bundle will be available this patch. With it, you'll receive the Dr. Matlove Cupid skin, the right to vote on season games, bonus quests for FP, double FP for matches, 15 FP boosters, and 15 Team Worshipper boosters. 4 season ticket rewards will also be added, like the limited critical damage Najah skin, the Greek Pantheon recall, the Egyptian Pantheon recall, and the new hype time level up effects. The health and mana restored by Bracer of Undoing is being decreased on both the standard and the upgrade. Players were having trouble with this item both early games and late games, so the health and mana restored has been reduced from 50% of recent damage to 40%. And if you're still struggling from this nerf, well, there's always this.
Buy anti-heal. Yes.
With Atalanta's bow, players didn't really have much time to make plays with the additional speed given. So the increased duration of movement speed buff has been increased from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Demonic Grip has shifted its focus on attack speed. The cost of the item has decreased from 2,300 gold to 2,150 gold. Its magical power has been decreased from 65 to 40, and its attack speed increased from 15% to 30%. Hasten Ring has been buffed this patch to make it feel more potent and impactful during fights. The duration of its haste buff has been increased from 4 seconds to 6 seconds, and its internal cooldown has been decreased from 30 seconds to 25 seconds. Anhur has been underperforming overall for some time. So although he's an aggressive hunter, he didn't feel threatening in lane. The damage on Disperse has been increased while Desert Fury's cooldown has been decreased from 90 seconds to 75 seconds. A hunter who has been viable for some time is Kernunos. He will not be hitting as hard with summer heat, as its physical power scaling has been decreased from 10% to 5%. Horn Charge is now a riskier move to use against enemies as its base damage has been reduced. And his ultimate, the Wild Hunt, now has a longer cooldown, increased from 90 seconds to 100 seconds. With the Hasten Ring and Demonic Grip changes this patch, Freya will be seeing improvements. And with an increase to her base attack speed and Pulse's base damage, she will be having some significant impact this time around. Judgment Tether was a bit too effective during the 4 seconds of reduced damage, so the bonus 5% damage reduction per second has been removed. That means the 20% damage reduction at maximum duration is gone. Raijin receives more buffs this patch. Charge Tempo now has a cooldown reduction of 2 seconds instead of 1. Percussive Storm finally pierces enemy gods, which will give him presence in teamfights. And Taiko Drums is seeing a reduction in the slow it applied to Raijin from 40% to 20%. The Morrigan had a pretty long duration on their stealth effect, which allowed for a spam of the ability in the late game with high CDR. The duration of the ability has been decreased and its mana cost increased from a flat 70 to a scaling amount. Well, that was all for this patch. I hope you liked the content, and I hope there was enough information for all of you. And if you liked it, go ahead and click that like. If you disliked it, then I guess hit that dislike button. And you can also subscribe to the channel. If you didn't like any of my content, then I guess you can go ahead and ignore that button. I will be working on more content. There's a few things in the works, so hopefully that pans out. So, alright, thank you. I'll leave y'all to it. Goodbye.